When you're looking at a big office printer, the first thing that pops into most people's heads is, will this thing actually fit into my workflow without turning everything into a headache? I get that hesitation because a printer that sounds impressive on paper can quickly become a money-draining nightmare if it doesn't match the way you work. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk through what it's really like to run the HP LaserJet Enterprise MFP M528dn every day, what you'll love, what will make you sigh, and whether the price tag is justified for your specific needs. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the M528dn is positioned as an enterprise-grade, monochrome all-in-one that promises secure printing, a web-based admin console, and two-sided printing out of the box. Those are the kind of features that matter most once you start printing hundreds of pages a day, but they also come with trade-offs. The biggest question before you click Add to Cart is whether you actually need a device that can handle the heavy lifting of a mid-size office versus a small team that prints only occasional reports. If you run a department that churns out contracts, invoices, or large reports on a daily basis, the M528dn's built-in Ethernet connection and HP WebJetAdmin integration can be a genuine productivity boost. The secure printing feature, HP's claim of the industry's strongest security, means that confidential documents stay locked behind a pin until the authorized user releases them at the printer. In practice, that eliminates the dreaded paper left on the tray scenario and keeps compliance departments happy. The Web Admin Console also lets an IT admin push policies, set quotas, and track usage across multiple devices from a single dashboard, which is a huge plus if you're trying to curb waste or enforce print cost allocation. On the flip side, the same security layers can add a step to the user experience. In a fast-paced sales environment where people need a quick printout of a quote, the pin prompt can feel like an unnecessary delay. If you're the type of office that values speed over strict access control, you might find yourself constantly overriding the feature or, worse, disabling it entirely, defeating the very purpose you bought the printer for. Another practical strength lies in the M528dn's duplex printing. The automatic two-sided capability works reliably on most media, and that reduces paper costs by roughly half when you print typical 8.511 documents. For a business that prints a few thousand pages a month, the savings add up quickly, especially when you consider the low-cost, low-energy use claim. HP says the printer's intelligent power management cuts standby consumption compared to older models, and in my testing the unit dropped to a near-idle draw after about 5 minutes of inactivity. That's not a dramatic headline, but when you're running a fleet of printers, the cumulative effect can be noticeable on a utility bill. Speed is where the M528dn really shows its enterprise pedigree. With an advertised 8 pages per minute, ppm, throughput for black and white output, it handles bulk jobs without bogging down. In a real-world test printing a 200-page legal brief, the printer maintained a steady rhythm, with no paper jams or noticeable pauses between sets. If your everyday print volume sits in the low hundreds, you'll probably never hit that ceiling, but knowing the printer can sustain a heavy load without breaking down is a reassurance for a growing company. Now, let's talk about the hidden trade-offs. The first one is size. The unit is a full-size floor model, meaning you need a dedicated space that can accommodate its footprint and the need for a power outlet nearby. Small offices that rely on a compact tabletop printer will find the M528dn a poor fit, simply because it takes up more real estate than a typical office desk can spare. Additionally, the printer does not include a built-in scanner with color capabilities, only monochrome copying and scanning. If your workflow still involves scanning color documents for client presentations or marketing materials, you'll need a separate device or a higher-priced color multifunction that already bundles those functionalities. Another practical weakness is the consumable cost. While the initial price is competitive for an enterprise-class laser printer, the toner cartridge yields around 12,000 pages per set. That sounds generous, but the perpage cost is still higher than a workgroup-level laser printer that uses smaller cartridges. For companies that print primarily internal documents and can bulk order remanufactured cartridges, the cost difference may be negligible, but for tight budgets it's something to factor in. The printer also supports HP's proprietary high-yield cartridges only, so you won't find cheaper third-party options that are guaranteed to work without risking print quality. If you're wondering about setup, the M528dn is fairly straightforward for anyone who has dealt with network printers before. Plug it into your network, install the HP Smart app or use the web interface, and the printer walks you through configuring secure printing and default duplex settings. However, the initial admin console can be a bit intimidating if you haven't used HP WebJet admin. There are a lot of options quota.